Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at a pair of earbuds from Cystereo. In my never-ending quest for trying to find the perfect earbuds, I was contacted by a company called Cystereo, and they asked me if I wanted to review their Fusion pair of earbuds, and I happily said yes, and here they are. And if you're interested in taking a look at these earbuds or finding more information about them that I don't cover in this video, I'll leave a link for them down below in the description box, and you can go ahead and check them out through there. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at them. So the front of the box here has a picture of the earbuds, the company name and whatnot. And then on the back here, if I zoom in just a little bit, we see some information about the earbuds and some key takeaways. It does have the Qualcomm aptX processor, up to 6 hours of continuous playback and 26 hours total with the charging case. It does feature touch control, the CBC 8.0 dual mic technology, which is noise reduction for your phone calls. And it says here that it's impervious to sweat, but it's actually IPX7, I believe, water resistant. So those are some of the key takeaways there. And now that we got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and open it up. And honestly, this is one of the nicest boxes that I've seen. It's magnetic, so you can just open it like that. And opening it up right here, we do get steps on how to connect the earbuds to your phone. And it does say that you have to charge the case before first use. And then down here, how to wear your earbuds correctly. And then in the middle here, we do have our instructions for using the touch surface. And then here we have the earbuds themselves, which I'm going to go ahead and take out. I'm going to take out the whole little tray. And before we take a look at that, we're going to look at what's inside. I've already opened these up just to make sure everything's in there and what everything is like. And here we have a USB-C cable. And honestly, it's very nice to see that it does have USB-C charging capabilities instead of micro USB, just because everybody's moving on to USB-C. And then up next, we do have a user manual, which I'm going to go ahead and read through, make sure I can get acquainted with the device. And then a little booklet here about sharing your product experiences with the company. If you're not happy with it, you can always email support, and they'll try to help you out as best as they can. And then explore more, some of their information about the company there. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And here we have the earbuds. It's actually a very different way of displaying the earbuds, because usually I'm used to seeing the earbuds inside the case, but here we have them separate. So I'm going to go ahead and take the case out and try and take the earbuds out without having them fling out. And setting that aside, we do have some spare ear tips there. And that appears to be the too large and too small, which is nice that they include those. I'll make sure to switch out to the small ones just because I'm already familiar with these types of earbuds. And here's the case. The case itself feels very nice in the hands. It's nice and smooth, and it's a little pill shape. It's actually really small, smaller than I anticipated. On the back here, we do have our USB-C charging port. On the front there, we have a little indentation so you can use your nail to open the case up. And then below that, we have our charging indicators. Opening it up, you do see a little compartment there for your earbuds. They only go in one way, and it is magnetic. So they do snap in there like so. And you should see that they do have like LED lights. I'm going to try to block this off so you can see the LED lights. And red means that they're charging. They'll start flashing blue once they're trying to accept a new Bluetooth connection. And then on the bottom of the case here, we just have some information about the charging case. Charging case is 350 milliamp hours, which isn't that great, but for a tiny case like this, it's decent enough. Now, taking a look at the earbud itself, it's a very nice looking earbud. I do like that it's nice and flat here. I don't know how I feel about that LED light. I feel like it's going to be really intrusive just because it's so bright. I'm used to having a little tiny dot somewhere where it's discreet, but we'll see how that plays out. And ear tips themselves, they look very different than what I'm used to seeing. And they look like they're about half the size of a regular ear tip, but you can always swap these out. And that's what it looks like without the ear tip. You see the charging contacts there. Nice little grill. And you can always, again, like I said, swap these out. But I'm going to be doing my review with the stock ear tips just so you get an idea as to what it's like. But it's very nice. The color scheme on the side here matches the case, another nice little detail. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect these up to my phone via Bluetooth. It should be simple and straightforward, but if you're new to these kinds of headphones, the pairing process is a little different than what you may be used to. So all you have to do is just take them out of their little case here. Hopefully they'll turn on and start flashing blue. And if they don't, all you have to do is just press and hold on the touch surface, and they should turn on like so. And you can see the blue lights there. And if we look at our phone here, which I'm already running my Bluetooth app, we should see them show up. We can see down below here, Fusion L is already showing up on my phone. So we're going to go ahead and tap that and just wait for it to connect. Now I did say that it's a little different than what you may be used to, because you connect to either the left or the right earbud, and then once you do that, that earbud connects to the right one, and that one connects to your phone by creating a pairing request, which is a little weird, but it works. And you can see there I have it already connected. So I'm going to go ahead and use these for the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, and I'll get back to you with my final verdict, my final thoughts. But just as a quick recap of my first impressions, I think they're really nice headphones. They feel very nice in the hands, and I do love the tiny capsule size, but I don't know how well that's going to play out later down below in the future. And I'll let my sister hold these and try them out. I'll let my dad try them out, and they'll give me their opinion on them as well. But like I said, I'll be using these for a week and a half, and I'll get back to you with my final thoughts. So I'll see you then. This is what the microphone quality sounds like coming from the Cystereo Fusion pair of earbuds. Now I did have a hard time trying to connect these up to my cell phone, and for some reason the audio wouldn't work right. So I decided to connect it to my Mac here, and I'm currently recording the audio through QuickTime Player. Let me know what you think of the audio. Does it sound good? Does it sound bad? I honestly think it's decent enough for phone calls and for Zoom video conferencing and stuff like that, but just like to keep that in mind. It didn't connect so easily to my cell phone, both my iPhone and my Android that I use for music playback, so you want to keep that in mind. I've been using these earbuds for the last week and a half now, and I've gathered a couple of things that I think are areas for improvement, and as of right now, I can't really recommend purchasing these unless you're willing to deal with these things that I'm going to point out. And the first one is the overall case design. Now, it's a very nice design. I did compliment the color and the overall size and the feel of it. And after using it for a while, I did find that it's a little slippery, but I guess most other cases that I've used in the past are also slippery. But one thing that really needs improvement is the inside of the case. And as you can see, this one here is more of on a concave kind of surface, which makes it a little hard to get the earbuds out for certain people. Like my dad, for example, I let him borrow these for a little bit, and his intuition was to try to pinch the earbuds out, and depending on how big your fingers are, if you have lotion on your hands, you may find it difficult to pull out the earbuds, and that's why they included this little divot here. But if you do choose to use the divot, there exists a chance that you may fling out the earbud like that, and if you're on the street, you may not want to be flinging anything out. So perhaps maybe choosing a case design similar to one like this, where it's nice and flat, but the earbuds stick out enough that you can go in here and pinch them out, and you won't have to use a little divot. Or if you do choose to use a divot, it's so that you can pinch them out of the case and not really fling them out like I do with these. So that could be one area of improvement. And the next one is with the earbuds themselves. Now the earbuds are nice and small, but again, the surface here on the side is rather slippery. So perhaps maybe if you want to keep the same texture as what you have here, I find this texture to be a little more grippier than the side here, which is a nice color but still not very grippy. My next point has to do with the ear tips. The ear tips are probably the most uncomfortable ear tips I've ever used, and they're rather bizarre considering how most other headphones have a style similar to these. And just a comparison, you can see here the difference between both ear tips. They're about half the size. Now what that translates to is muffled sound, and what that means is when you put the earbuds in your ears, you have to wiggle them around and twist them and try to figure out which position works best for getting clear audio. So perhaps maybe replacing the ear tips with another design style, perhaps something like these, would be a welcome improvement. Now I did swap them. I did put these ear tips on the earbuds, and they worked fantastic. And the reason why I didn't do a full review with the ear tips changed was because I wanted to do a review with the pure unit and everything that came with the unit. Now in terms of the sound quality, I honestly think they're pretty darn good. And ear tips aside, if you're willing to swap those out for another pair of your choosing, the sound quality you can get out of these earbuds is actually pretty good. You get nice bass reproduction, the mids are still there, and the highs as well, but you get nice bassy sound. So if that's the sort of sound profile you like, you may want to consider these, and of course do consider swapping out the ear tips, because that's one of the main downsides to these earbuds. One little side note here, something that I may be a little bit of a nitpicker for, has to do with the flat surface here, the way it sits in your ear, and the LED light. Now I feel like the LED light here, the little ring, is a little unnecessary because it is a little bright, and my bed sits next to a wall, so when I had these in and listening to music late at night, the flashing did bounce off the wall just a little bit, to the point where I could see it out of the corner of my eye just faintly. But that's something that hasn't happened with other earbuds in the past, because other earbuds have a discrete little light like you see here, where it's firing downwards, and it's a discrete little light, and it won't really light up too much compared to this. And on my final criticism, nitpicky criticism, the way they sit in your ears looks something like that. So you can see the touch surface there. If you try to go in and touch it, depending on how your fingers are, you may find that it's hard to press. So I had to go in there with my thumb so I can get a nice flat contact there. And just for a point of comparison again, these are another pair of earbuds, just to show you how they designed their flat surface. And you can see this one's more oriented upward, so when you go in, you get access to that full touch surface, whereas with these, it's more at an angle. But if you're willing to deal with most of these criticisms and wish to try them out, I'll link them down below where you can check them out. And again, thank you to Cystereo for sending these in for review. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the product, please let me know down in the comments section below, or just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to answer your questions as best I can. So with that said, thank you all for watching. See you all in the next video.